Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of this replay between Hasu and TLO here on Metalopolis. Barracks being placed down here, production-wise, and personal cloaking also being researched, so I believe that's the Ghost Academy. Yeah, so the Ghost Academy now researching cloak as well. No arming of the nuclear silo at this stage in the game, but a lot of siege tanks being brought in, and now SCV is doing that walk of shame, some long distance mining as this command center gonna be built up. We do in fact have one ghost with an EMP shockwave. That EMP shockwave is so important in a Terran versus Protoss matchup, and one EMP can really prevent 5 or 6 Psi Storms if those High Templars are grouped together, which they tend to do as they move a little bit slower and out of pace with the rest of the army. Stalkers now perhaps going to move on up with these Stalkers with blink. They could easily blink within the 0 range and try to take down some of these units. Are they going to blink? No, we have a Guardian Shield now coming in, Zealots now coming in as well, Hellions trying to move on in, and now Psi Storm, so very nicely done. Feedback across all of these battle cruisers, and Psi Storm coming in as well. So a lot of very low hit point units sitting back over here. And now this last High Templar most likely going to take him down. I'm going to go ahead and move that out there. Yeah, so both sides taking heavy damage, but really Hasu miscalculating that whole entire fight. Now down to a 1400 mineral army, for some reason not blinking within the 0 range to take down these siege tanks. He did in fact try to do some Psi Storms as well, but I think Psi Storming here and here on this ramp would have been a better place, as they would have been all choked up there. Taking a look at the losses, Hasu now losing 6,100 units versus TLO's 5,575, and on top of that, TLO also has the at some point had the stronger economy. Now it has in fact reversed. Hasu sitting on 1,700 mineral economy, now getting a Nexus off over here, running off of 2 full base play from here, and then just bare minerals here as well. So Hasu nearly at 200 maximum food upper limit supply as those Stalkers continue to move on in. One battle cruiser taken down as these units continue to push around back and forth. Level 2 weapons upgrade on the Stalkers. Now we're getting the armor upgrades and a fleet beacon and a dark shrine. So Hasu really has a number of options that he can go. He can try to go for Psi Storm, or continuing the Psi Storm. He can go for Dark Templars. He can go for a mass recall with that mothership. Really just a number of options to really just try to change it up. Back over here we now have the Observer still sitting in play, and battle cruisers now with that level 1 weapons upgrade, and the siege tanks with no upgrades either. So Stalker going to go ahead and just move on in, try to take down this Marine here as this pylon is going to finish warping in. That Marine realizes that he's in a really bad position. Stalkers blink into the night and take him down. But siege tanks are on the move. Will those Stalkers be able to get out in time as the rest of these units come on in? Down goes a Medevac, so Medevac out of position. Stalkers blinking in, trying to deal as much damage as possible, but really just out of position, not realizing all the units on that high ground, and siege tanks just doing a great job there. We have, 4 battle cruisers in the air, Marines on the ground, along with a Ghost. Ghost hasn't not used its EMP shockwave just quite yet. Really, Hasu has been holding this one Zelnaga watchtower for quite some time, so the map control belongs to Hasu. Hasu now also mining off of these high yield minerals. Will be able to transfer some probes over there in just a moment. Perhaps transfer some of these probes, as is he oversaturated? No, he's perfect saturation on those last 2 batches of minerals over there, down to 75 and 280. Stalkers sitting over here. So really the map control belongs to Hasu. But LiquidTLO with that larger army, this is still anyone's game at this stage. Back over here, battle cruisers continue to move out. We have another barracks being laid down, and this command center most likely to lift off and try to take this yellow high yield minerals now being completed. Armory now getting the level 1 ship plating onto those battle cruisers. So those battle cruisers with 4 armor will have 4 armor very soon. Battle cruisers now moving out, missile turrets in the middle and being placed in the middle just for more map control as these Stalkers continue to move on in. And now the range, a 6 range battle cruisers with that 4 armor. Now siege tanks over here as well, going to go ahead and siege up onto this low ground. And now TLO with a very strong army. Stalkers however blinking on in and dealing so much damage. Stalkers just focusing down all of these units here. Battle cruisers really just taking so much damage, and all these Marines are in trouble. They're just walking through that whole entire psionic storm and gonna get torn apart. Wow, just heavy losses on both sides. Archon now being merged over here as those Stalkers continue to fight, trying to take down more and more of those units. Archon should be able to deal a fair amount of damage and finish off the rest of perhaps get that last battlecruiser, but no, both sides taking heavy losses. Hellions now here as well. Battlecruiser coming on in. There is one photon cannon acting as a little bit of a buffer, and wow, LiquidTLO just in trouble now as he loses those final 2 units, blinking into that 0 range of these siege tanks. Siege tanks now going to get taken down. A quick cloak observer coming in as well, and now both sides taking that heavy loss. SCV is now being transferred over, and LiquidTLO really on the winning end of this fight. This was a do or die situation. Really needed these high yield minerals, but oh, Hasu with this as a High Templar here should be able to just start storming this whole entire mineral line very easily. So are we going to see these? No, we're just going to see him walk in with Dark Templar. So Dark Templar is now moving on in. However, there was a Raven, and now that SCVs do in fact see this one High Templar here, Marines coming over, and oh, Hasu losing that one High Templar needlessly. Could have gotten a lot of probe kills. Both sides now sitting on a fairly even army, but the mothership has arrived. And with the mothership, we have a whole bunch of damage, and very soon these motherships should be able to just move on in with that cloak. There is a Raven though. Siege tanks now moving on up, and now out comes this Ghost Carriers now moving in. Psystorm hitting a bunch of these Marines over here. They're going to get torn apart as these carriers just launching their interceptors to try to deal as much damage as possible. Battlecruisers with that Yamada cannon want to try to take down those carriers. But this mothership sitting over here, does TLO know about the mothership? Not quite. I'm not sure if he knows about the mothership. May reveal it now. Yeah, so most likely knows about the mothership now, as we have 1 mothership and 4 carriers. Carriers and the mothership have arrived, and there is no weapons upgrade on those air units to be seen. And now out comes this whole entire army. Mothership trying to move on in, and those carriers those battlecruisers taking a lot of damage. However, with 4 armor plating, those interceptors are not going to really be able to deal any damage. Just 2 damage from each interceptor because of that 4 armor. Now in comes this mothership. Now perhaps we're going to see some sort of vortex, or just try to delay this whole entire tactic. Mothership taking a whole bunch of damage, and now in comes that vortex. So those Marines trying to come on in, and now those Marines shooting down at this mothership. Mothership very low on hit points. Down it goes, but the Stalkers and the carriers are getting just essentially free kills at this stage in the game. And yeah, now finally coming back in. Zealot's going to go ahead and finish off the rest of these units. Battlecruisers now reappearing after that vortex, and more battlecruisers coming in. So battlecruisers versus carriers, motherships, and while both sides just taking heavy losses, taking terrible damage from all of these units here. And these battlecruisers now moving out. The level 2, level 1 weapons upgrade really starting to take its toll. Level 1 Protoss ground weapons coming in momentarily. Are we going to get some more Psystorms? No Psystorms coming in as those Stalkers continue to blink on in and try to move, try to focus down some of these battlecruisers. Battlecruisers now getting taken down. Battlecruisers in the air now with, I believe, level 2 armor as well. So I believe these carriers essentially deal 0 damage now because of these interceptors. These interceptors only deal 5 times 2. So I actually have to run an experiment. I haven't seen a 5 damage unit versus a 5 armor unit in quite some time. Battlecruisers now getting the level 3 weapons upgrade, and in comes a Yamato cannon, kind of wasted on a very low hit point carrier there. As these units continue to move on out, and Marines were very mobile, and now down goes another SCV over here. Really no Psystorm to be seen. High Templar can just move off here and take down a lot of these mules. Is it going to happen? Not quite sure. As this photon cannon now coming into position, there is a point defense drone in the air, intercepting a lot of the attack. Zealots moved on in and then moved back, quickly just getting torn apart and destroyed there. Another defense drone with almost full energy now getting depleted. Once again, another Psystorm and another feedback onto that battlecruiser. So battlecruiser is taking so much damage. Another Psystorm coming in. So all of these workers just getting torn apart on both sides. Back over here, Marines trying to take down this base over here, as now TLO has another expansion over here at the 9 o'clock position. But the real fighting is happening in the center of the map. Both players just trying to continue to multitask. 2 more battlecruisers being trained, 3 Zealots, and the Harvester income. Hasu must have a lot of... Yeah, Hasu just sitting on 5,000 minerals. Not quite sure why. How come he is not keeping up with production? He has plenty of gateways and warp gates to just try to train more and more Zealots, but the Zealots is not what he needs. He went mass carriers, and those carriers are just so gas intensive that it is fairly difficult for him to keep up. And now these units finally pulling back as well. It looks as though TL was able to stave off this attack, and now he does know about the expansion over here. And also Hasu has 30 or Has a couple idle workers as well. We'll see how this is all going to be trained on up, as we now have some SCVs being transferred over. Armory should be getting the level 3 weapons or armor upgrades soon, as these stalkers continue to just push on this location. And I do not agree with this play by now by HaSu. HaSu is attacking the most fortified position. More feedback coming in, but really HaSu trying to deal the most damage to the most fortified position is just going to be exchanging units. He should really try to figure out another location that he can come into and try to like put a little bit of pressure. HaSu now warping in a Zealot over here, and now going to try to take down another Orbital Command. So very nicely done. Dark Templars were able to deny this expansion. Orbital Command will start burning in the air, should get taken down with no real issue. And now a Stalker denying TLO over here, and more Stalkers being warped in here. So Stalker is going to be warped in, and down goes this Orbital Command. The Stalkers in mass numbers are going to be easily able to take down this Orbital Command. Stalkers will be able to blink this short height difference, and yeah, down it goes, and already down to 250 hit points. Back over here, mass battle cruisers, siege tanks, army is just trying to dish out as much damage as possible. Stalkers coming in, running head on, just walking head on, trying to take down some of those units. Marauders coming in as well, but air now has arrived, and now the high yield minerals have been depleted. So HaSu really needs to find another expansion as well, as more and more of these fights continue back and forth. Stalkers blinking back, and really these probes really need to be doing something. Carriers now have level 1 weapons upgrade, but the level 3 2 battle cruisers are just too much for HaSu. HaSu really needs to find some other strategy, perhaps getting Void Rays, getting them fully charged up in order to try to take down these battle cruisers. Also getting the armor upgrades on some of these units as well. Psystorm now coming in. So really the High Templars are what's really dealing the damage for against all of these battle cruisers with feedback and with that Psystorm. But now HaSu is going to be in definite trouble here, as this expansion may go down. Stay tuned for part 3 of this replay between LiquidTLO and HaSu here on Metalopolis. Oh, this is a little early. Oh, alright. Well, stay tuned for part 3 anyways.